we are fortunate in the AESC to have amongst our members the best search consultants in the world. And the Nominating and Governance Committee has a challenge each year in determining which individuals to recognize with the 2 primary awards that we have. And this year they have done, I think, a stellar job. And I have the pleasure of presenting the first award. It is the Gardner W. Heydrich Award, which was established to honor a professional in the retained executive search industry for outstanding contribution to the profession. The recipient this year is Bob Pearson of Pearson Partners. Bob, founder of Pearson Partners International, has been a leader in retained search for nearly 30 years, contributing significantly to the growth and the evolution of the industry. He's been a staunch supporter and a member of the AESC since 1983, for which we thank you, and has helped our organization grow to where it is today. Over an impressive career, Bob has consistently been a model for our profession, a model in terms of professionalism and integrity. He demonstrated great creativity and business acumen when he took LAI Worldwide, at the time the 3rd largest global executive search firm, public. It was the first IPO in the industry. And in fact, today, many of the leaders in the industry come out of what was LAI at the time. Subsequently, in Pearson Partners International, Bob has created a significant global organization, and his open leadership style has fostered a team-oriented work culture which encourages the sharing of ideas and expertise amongst the partners in the firm. To give you a little bit of early history, Bob launched his search career in Russell Reynolds, then became the Southwest Managing Partner of LaMaley Associates, which later became known as LAI, before being elected Chairman and CEO. Following several sizable acquisitions and a large secondary public offering, LAI was subsequently sold to TMP Worldwide. Earlier than that, Bob's early career was with McKinsey & Company, where he was senior engagement management, then with Raymond James & Associates as Vice President of Corporate Finance. He then founded and was CEO of Pearson, Inc., a mid-sized manufacturing firm in Wisconsin. Bob earned his bachelor's degree in electrical engineering from Michigan State University, where he graduated magna cum laude. He attended graduate school at MIT on a NASA fellowship, earning a master's in industrial management. Bob is an avid runner. He's competed in the New York City Marathon 4 times. He lives in Dallas with his wife of 50 years, Norma, who is also here today to watch him accept the award.
First of all, I want to express my deep appreciation and gratitude for the award. I'm very flattered. I also want to thank all of you, many of whom have shared my successes and many failures, and together, as well as I want to thank my partners at Pearson Partners International, who's been a very big help to me. Lastly, I want to thank my daughter Jill for nominating me for this award, and my son Keith for running our company and making me look good. And of course, my lovely wife of almost 50 years, Norma, who without, as I know it's a cliche, but without which I would not have been up here. In fact, I probably would have been driving one of those horse-drawn carriages you see around Central Park. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy the convention.
Next, we're proud to recognize the recipient of the Eleanor Reynolds Award, which recognizes excellence in the executive search consulting sector, as well as a strong commitment to volunteerism. To give this award, I welcome Kevin McBurney, Managing Director of Korn Ferry in Vancouver.
It's a privilege to be here. I lead the Vancouver office for Korn Ferry International, which is a lot of fun. Being part of a large firm like Korn Ferry is an exceptional privilege as well. I was here last week when our office managing directors gathered in this fine city, and as search consultants do, sort of looked at our navels and tried to predict the future. I guess it's fair to say it looks pretty exciting. And the numbers that were thrown up here this morning would be evidence of that. I would say it's an honor and a very distinct privilege for me, really on behalf of my Korn Ferry and AESC colleagues, to present this compelling and thoughtful Eleanor Reynolds Award to Betsy Gibbons, a friend and a colleague that I've known and worked with for almost 20 years. So if there's some emotion in my voice, it's largely because of that. Someone once said, I'm not quite sure who it was, but the best mirror is an old friend. And I know well, for me, that I would not have grown or succeeded in this profession without the guidance, the candor, and the support I gained from working with Betsy all these years. Betsy's joined here today by her partner John and her son David, and a cheering contingent of colleagues from our Vancouver office who came here. Betsy's once more a pioneer, because this is the first time a Canadian has received this award, this distinguished award. So there are likely not a lot of Canucks in this room today. So to give you an American frame of reference, setting aside politics for a minute, Betsy can be best described as the Hillary Clinton of Canadian search. She's tireless, answering the phone on her treadmill, or in the garden at her beautiful Gambier Island retreat while chasing away plant-eating deer. She's a relentless confidant, an advisor, and a relationship builder with crusty, sort of hard-nosed, difficult international mining CEOs. Some of you have had exposure to those over time. She's dedicated to being the best practitioner in search that one can be, and at times being called the queen of process, and the best volunteer in healthcare, education, justice, human resource management, and social enterprise that any organization could hope for. I'd add that she's a role model and a voice for women in our British Columbia and Canadian community. If our profession had an august Senate, Betsy would have been appointed. She's an optimistic ambassador, a trusted advisor, a mentor, and a sought-after coach. And I guess I speak from experience. Betsy truly epitomizes who Eleanor Reynolds had in mind when she created this award, I'm sure. Betsy's lifelong commitment to the professions of executive search and volunteerism serve well as a formidable and remarkable example to us all. Congratulations, Betsy.
I took a little bit of time to do a bit of background study of Eleanor Reynolds and discovered she was a truly remarkable woman, a woman of great status and, I think, unlimited energy by the account of her bio. So it's entirely appropriate that I use the word humbled to describe how I feel about receiving this award. Humbled is often overused, but indeed, if you look at Eleanor's bio, she was very remarkable. My colleagues will attest I was a reluctant nominee. I actually thought that there'd be so many nominees I wouldn't have to think about this again. And so over the past few weeks, I've had considerable reflection going on, and I wanted to share my conversation with myself. So it may sound sappy, but I truly love the executive search business. It's an industry where happy outcomes are the norm, where we help candidates move along their career path, where we help organizations achieve success through talent. And in the process, we learn so much about others' goals and aspirations. whether they're corporations or people, and we're paid to do so. Where else can we participate in many industries and in many lives and be so trusted as to become confidants and advisors? I am also fortunate to be in the company of outstanding colleagues and professionals at Corn Ferry, people who are dedicated to delivering unparalleled service and who, without exception, take the perspective of their clients and their candidates. They are my friends, and in many ways, they're extensions of my family. We are like-minded individuals when it comes to striving to do our very best. And perhaps more importantly, we are like-minded in our desire to see each other succeed. I am very far from being the very best search professional at Corn Ferry, but to the extent I have been successful, it has been because of the fine team of people with whom I work. My cheering section over here. I further reflected that volunteerism is very much like the executive search business. It is about creating success for others. It also offers the opportunity to learn about other organizations and people, their own aspirations and needs, their challenges, their moments of despair, and their moments of glory. I was raised by a mother and father for whom volunteerism was a way of life, either for their profession or for their personal interests. And as a result, I suppose I was genetically predisposed to volunteer. The only analysis I did when I started down the volunteer path, and which I offer as advice for others, is to volunteer in areas which are of interest to you and for which you can become passionate because you will become consumed. Volunteerism, as all of you know, demands commitment and tenacity over the long haul. But we are all citizens of the world, and so giving back to our communities is just very simply a smart strategy. Again, on a like-minded theme, every individual in our Vancouver Corn Ferry office volunteers for organizations ranging from hospital foundations to the Canadian Amateur Track and Field Association, Land Conservancy, and the advancement of women through Dressing for Success. It's just what we do. So now that I've pontificated on everything you already know, I will confess that the conclusion of my conversation with myself is that I operate entirely on the basis of self-interest. I'm overly curious, I really enjoy people, and I like to get things done. So I've had the good fortune to fall into an industry that values that, and to have had the privilege of working with a wonderful group of people. I'm so appreciative of their support and will value their friendship beyond my working life. To paraphrase Eleanor Reynolds' book, Beyond Success, volunteer service has helped me make a life instead of just a living, but it's been primarily because of the people. Thank you to the association, and I share this award with my colleagues. Thank you.